Back with you here on the Newsfeed PM. Thanks for staying on. This November, once again, the popular worship experience, Art and Worship, returns for a second installment. The show, curated by gospel artist Khaya Mthethwa, promises a mixture of music, art and worship. He's here to tell us more on this experience. Good to have you. Congratulations, Nyambos. Oh, I know you've been going around wanting to talk about art and worship, but I'm sure everybody just wants to talk about the fact that you got married.
That I got married.
Eh?
Thank you so much, Thabo Mdluli. I appreciate it.
How does it feel?
It feels like a new season for me. It's been amazing. Starting a new life with Usnetemba. God has blessed me with an amazing girl.
When you get the time, getting married is an involved process. And here you are hosting home shows as well. Eh? Where do you get the time?
No, man, it was time. You know, I met the right girl, and we just decided that this is what we want to do. Want to do it right, and we want to spend the rest of our lives together. And we just committed to it. Yeah.
Flo is going to kill me because I'm going to have a complete different conversation with you. How do you feel about the fact that people are rooting for you for it to work? I mean, of course, it follows your public outburst about attracting rubbish. Not that.
I think a lot of people have been positive, rooting for us. I mean, today we're on the street handing out pamphlets, and just to see people saying, congratulations, we're praying for you. It just says something that there's still honor in marriage. Right. People still respect the institution. Right. And for people to believe in me like they do, I can only pray to God that God blesses our union, because I believe in marriage and I believe in it as well. And I can only hope that we can continue to be an inspiration to other young people to commit and to start families. Yeah.
No, we wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Pray for you that indeed it becomes all that.
Thank you, sir.
Let's talk about art and worship, right? Art in general, expression of art and worship has become a thing. Fashion, it's gospel, culinary experiences, worship, in every aspect. Others would introduce even sporting activity with worship. Is it just a trend, or is there a particular thinking around that expression?
You would know that the evolution of worship music in church has been interesting. One, in my view, and I don't know you agree, that gospel takes longer to evolve. It takes longer to adapt. It takes longer to catch on to new trends that are happening. And I think that as custodians of art, besides the worship element, is to say that what are we doing to elevate? What are we doing to take it to the next level? What are we doing to inspire a new audience of people that wouldn't just necessarily listen to gospel music or attend a gospel show, but because of how we've crafted and curated it, they become, oh, that's an interest to me. And then we get to then, minister to them the way we want to minister to them. But it's through the canvas of packaging it in an artistic way.
Yeah. You can even hear the expression, how you pick up your words, canvas. Talk to me about visual arts. Where do you meet visual arts? Because we know you as a songwriter, we know you as a producer, we know you on stage, but where does the visual art aspect come from?
It's coming through with the people that I'm sitting with. As an artist, you don't just live in a silo. You live with guys that are camera guys, you live with guys that are graphic designers, you live with guys that are in fashion. So it's us putting our minds together and saying, Wuti, music is not just music. It has to be visual, it has to be felt, it has to be seen. And so you need to build a team that's going to help you express what you're hearing musically, for me as a producer and a songwriter, and they get to help me express it, how it's going to look on stage, how the screens are going to be, what we're going to be wearing, etc., etc. And then by that collaboration, we then we become better, because it's not just one brain thinking about everything, but it's an entire team that's putting together this whole thing.
Yeah, and maybe when we are being theological and maybe even prophetic to an extent, the building of the temple,
yes, sir.
It was very artistic in terms of the
100%.
detail.
They spared no cent, and I think that for me, that from my first record that I did, The Uprising, it was just crazy thinking to be like, what can we do? What can we do to take this thing to the next level? And I think that art and worship for me, besides just the music aspect of the art, it's the ministry aspect. And I feel like people are going through a lot. People are down and out. They might act like things are going well, but they are not. It might seem a certain way, but it's not. And I believe that when people come together as a congregation and like that, the presence of God falls, in that place. And transformation begins to happen. One person who was thinking of giving up is suddenly thinking, I might just make it through. And if we can get people to start thinking like that after they leave that evening and start spreading that spirit in their communities, in their families, in their marriages, with their children, we're going to build a better society in South Africa.
Do you feel a heavy weight on you to curate this particular expression, considering so much is going on?
Yeah.
And so much that is going on also involves you.
Yes,
so you would have Ntokozo filling up the stadium,
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah.
You have Goshen that's coming up, you're there. You look at all these experiences that are happening that you are a part of,
Yeah.
but now you've also got to come and bring out your own offering.
It's a calling, you know. There's a weight, I like how you put it, there's definitely a weight of pressure on it, because ubizo, there's something deep in your spirit that's saying, I have to do this, I don't know how. The resources are hard to get, you know, it's logistically, it's a mess sometimes, but you just know that the hand of God is on it, because somehow you get to the date and it happens and people come, you bring out a new record, it gets all this recognition, people's lives are changed. You get people telling you that song did this and that for me, that specific moment did this and that for me. That, for me, is the reason we do what we do.
Yeah. There's a move happening within gospel in South Africa where our gospel is beginning to impact the region,
Yes,
maybe
sir.
even the continent.
Yes, sir.
What is behind that?
I think that our time has come, and I think that there's a lot of South African artists that have been in their back rooms praying, seeking God's face, you know, asking for direction. Some of them have been feeling like nothing is happening. You're just going around in circles. But I feel like there's definitely, I've traveled a bit on the continent. People are listening to what's happening in South Africa, and they're hungry for more music to come out. And I believe that if we come together, and for me, I think the next move for gospel music is collaboration, that what's going to take us to that next level on the continent is collaboration. It's not just Khaya standing on his own, doing his own thing, but it's bringing different people and saying, like if you look at Amapiano tracks, it's got like 5 people on the track, you've got 6 people on a track, you've got 3 people. I think that gospel music needs to get to the point where we're saying it's no longer about an individual anymore, and it's about this collaborative act. And once we do that, I think that it's going to explode on the continent.
But there's a different thrust to it. I mean, it's never been an issue for you. You've never been a hooks person.
Yeah.
Yours has always been an expression of worship. But there is generally a feeling that there is a different thrust to what is coming out as gospel music in South Africa. It's no longer about, you know, picking up a chorus that will get people dancing and whatnot.
I also think that it's just badal, you know, different things. What gospel music meant to me 10 years ago and what it means to me now is totally 2 different things. You know, the kind of music, how I'd want to arrange things, maybe even some would say over-arrange things to show our musicality, to show our creativity. It's no longer there. It's more about what is God really saying? Because once you tap into that, it echoes right across the board. People begin to resonate with it more clearly, because now you're not doing it for yourself. You're no longer doing it to be seen. You're no longer doing it to be recognized. You're not even doing it to get records sold anymore. You're just saying, I'm putting it out there, and I'm trusting God that whatever He has put in my heart will begin to touch people's lives from there.
Yeah. Part of what you will do is hold workshops about the art of worship.
Yes,
Not
sir.
art and worship. Art and worship is one thing.
Sure.
But the art of worship itself is something else. How do you stumble? Do you stumble into that? Does it grow on you? Do you grow into it to understand the priesthood of that kind of service?
The last 3-4 years of my life have been inundated with people asking for mentorship, asking to say, look, we need help. We want to know what we're doing. We need you to speak into our lives. So we've put together like workshops to say that I led worship at church for about 15 years, way before anyone ever saw me publicly. And I think it's putting together conversations to say that how are you as a worshiper alone? Because worship doesn't start on stage, it starts at home, you know, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your pastor, you know what I mean? Like all these different facets form part of the art of worship. That it's not just about you, the singer, it's about the vision. Are you there to sing at the church, or are you involved in the vision of the church? So it's really getting people and myself aligned to why we do what we do. And the minute we align, we begin to understand much more deeper why God has called us to do what we're doing.
And I think probably people who would have seen you in 2020 would understand better what you mean by
Yes, sir.
worship begins with you. I think that 2020 moment,
sir.
it drew on a lot of worshipers to say, it's not on the stage, it's not where the people are, but it's with you. You're locked in your house. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yet it still needs to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, COVID taught us that, flat out. We would say, if you think that worship can only happen in a congregation, then you lose out on who God is in your life. The songs that I wrote during lockdown have including Omkhulu Msebenzi and all that stuff, are the songs that I got in the presence of God when no one was there. And I think that once we begin to live out the life of Ukholwa outside of other people, we then begin to encounter God in a much more deeper and more significant way.
Yeah. What for you makes this installment exciting?
The 15th November for me is because I've been writing music for the last 2 years. And I felt like it's time to deliver that music now, number one. Number two, I also feel like it's such a pivot moment for my life personally, career. It's just, there's a lot of new things that are happening, and I believe that story cannot just be told by me, but I would want to share that story with a bunch of people that will come to Carnival City next weekend, Saturday, and we can spend some time in the presence of God. The other thing that I think that has been in my heart is also opening up to other people. You know, we're going to be having, the entire show will be signed. There'll be sign language the entire show. So the people in the deaf community will be able to experience the show live with us as well. So there's a lot of different things that we've included in the show to make sure that it's not just, you know, for people that generally go to live music shows, but we're trying to open it up more so that people get to experience what we're doing. Come next week, Saturday, hopefully people's lives are changed.
Khaya Mthethwa, appreciate your time.
Thank you,
so much
sir.
for coming.